This is the MGM 1 month overview reading for the month of June 2023. It's currently May 5th, 2023, 9:59 p.m. Eastern Time. MGM at the time of this reading is currently in the extended hours $43.14 per share. That's USD. And the shuffle file that we're about to play for the June reading of MGM was created on April 12th, 2023 at 11:52 p.m. Eastern Time. That's this file right here. The overall theme and behavior for the month, we have a decline that'll stand out on a year-to-date kind of chart, offering an opportunity to open up a long position, or I should say the opportunity should stand out on a year-to-date chart. It's crossed with sideways rotation along a key support level on a 1 month kind of scale, increasing with bullish momentum as we move forward in time. Behavior around the highest high, we have a notable move on a 1 month, at least 1 month scale kind of chart. Notable move into the highest high where we should see multiple failed attempts to break through key resistance on a 1 day chart. And probably a notable move off of the high as well. Behavior around the lowest low, we have a period of volatility that ends with a fast sudden move higher. And the high and the low for the month are within close time proximity to each other. So usually that's within like 7 to 10 days. Either that or it goes like almost straight from high to low or low to high without much kind of volatility. That's another way that the corresponding high and low correlators can play out. Before we go any further though, let's take a look and see how we did in April. All right, so we had a high correlation here on the 4th, and you can see on the 4th we had a pretty third, fourth, we had a pretty significant opportunity before a decline. That's that unicursal at a peak or crest. Significant decline there. Trade opportunity at the end of the day on the 6th to close out of that short position. That's what we would have discussed, and that's a significant trade opportunity there that would have played out pretty well. I have a highest high around the 11th, 12th, or the 13th, and it looks like the highest high ends up being on the 20th, but the 12th ends up being kind of like a really significant high, almost the highest high in the midst of like a bunch of low stuff going on. So that's pretty notable. What did I have for the 25th? I had a prominent crest or peak on the 25th. The 20th, what did I have for the 20th? Looks like I missed the highest high on the 20th. So aside from that though, we had a lowest low here on the 27th. Looks like I was off by a day. We have a lowest low here on the 26th. There was a trade opportunity on the 25th. Open up a short position. Close that short position on the 26th. That was a solid trade. This was a pretty decent reading. Aside from missing that highest high there on the 19th, 20th, this was a pretty solid reading. So with that said, guys, on the 1st, we have what may be a decline into a lowest low or a lowest low thus far for the month. It's a decline through multiple support levels. And there's an opportunity there as well on a multi-day kind of scale. I'll talk about the opportunity in more detail, the trade opportunity in more detail in the paid version at the end of the video. And then on the 2nd, we have a decline to and through support on a multi-day scale to meet a second support. We rotate sideways along that support. On the 5th, we have a rally along a diagonal trend line on a multi-day kind of scale, breaking through horizontal resistance to meet secondary resistance before pulling back to somewhere between those two price levels. It's possible we have another lowest low here on the 5th. Like we go from a lowest low thus far to a lower low thus far on the 5th. On the 6th, we have 3 crisscrosses back and forth through the same price level, confirming a bullish trend, at least temporarily. Looks like on the cusp of the 5th, 6th, there's a pretty sharp drop. On the 7th, we have a trough midday, and we come up against a resistance level on a multi-day kind of scale that we've met several times before. There's a notable decline on the 8th. increasing with momentum as we move forward in time. And there might be a lowest low there, actually. This is another location, high probable location of a lowest low. The two highest probable locations of a lowest low for the month, here on the cusp of the 8th, 9th, and then there on the 12th is the highest probability. But I'm gonna just mark this off so I don't forget that I said that. The way that I mark it off, guys, I use a translucent red so that I know it's not necessarily ESO meta. It's more like, well, I guess it is ESO meta because this is a pretty important one here. Ugh, that was awful. Alright, so we got that marked off. Out of that lowest low towards the cusp of the 8th, 9th, there's a sideways S formation and a prominent crest in the midst of that. It forms there on the 9th. On the 12th, a lot of price change. We have most likely our lowest low, highest probability of a lowest low here on the 12th, and a lot of price change. We have a prominent crest as well as a lowest low here. On the 13th, we move higher through key resistance. We make a new local high after that lowest low. So we move higher through resistance. We stay above it briefly. That's resistance on a multi-day kind of scale, and we break back down through it shortly thereafter. On the 14th, actually a trade opportunity at like kind of like a trough on the cusp of the 13th, 14th. I'll talk about that in more detail in the paid version. Matter of fact, guys, if you're interested in the paid version, it's a really great way to support the channel. The way that you get the paid version, you go to our website, tarotfortraders.com, click on, under our services, click on ESO Meta Forecasts, scroll down to monthly predictions, click here to order. Pick the subscription that you're most interested in. You can get any of these single subscriptions, or you can get access to all of the subscriptions paid versions for $250. But as far as this is concerned, you want to click on the MGM. And thank you very much for those of you that do that. It really does help support the channel, and it also guarantees that we continue to do monthlies of MGM. Another thing that we do in the paid version is we get into the trades that we see on a multi-year scale and on a 1-year scale, not just on a monthly scale or a day scale. All right, so trade opportunity near a trough on the cusp, a lot of price movement after establishing support there on the 14th, a lot of price movement to the upside, and then another establishment of support at a higher level, creating a crest or peak. There's 3 pokes through the same price level on the 15th, followed by a sharp drop. There's a sharp drop on the 16th off of a key technical resistance level on a multi-day kind of scale. A sharp drop and most likely a gap down on the morning of the 20th. However, be careful. This isn't the clearest trade here, guys, so really be careful about that. I'm going to talk about this in more detail in the paid version, but there's a lot of price change here on the 20th. So often you'll find that the Ace of Swords indicates a highest high. I do have a correlation here towards the end of the month for a highest high, but this could be another location where we see one. And there's a day trade opportunity in there I'll talk about in the paid version. On the 21st, we have the majority of the behavior is bumping along resistance. We may break through resistance, bump along resistance some more. Matter of fact, it looks like the crest or peak is there on the cusp of the 20th, 21st. And then on the cusp of the 21st, 22nd, there's a trough. There's a trough, and then we might gap up on the 22nd with another trade opportunity, multiple failed attempts to break through key resistance, another important crest, and a sharp decline through multiple support levels. Fast sudden move higher out of a decline on the 23rd. Fast sudden move higher standing out on a multi-day scale, and another trade opportunity for the paid version. I'm advised to be cautious here on the 26th. High probable location of a highest high. Sideways rotation, multiple false tops, multiple false bottoms. We establish support on a multi-day scale here on the 27th, and then there's a big move to the upside, especially towards the end of the day, to a crest or peak on the 27th. And then on the 28th, we have a move higher, followed by a retracement of that move, and the highest probable location of a highest high there on the 28th, somewhere around the 26th, 28th, but highest probable location of the 28th. On the 29th, we have an important resistance level that's highlighted, and towards the end of the day, a sharp drop. There may actually be a news about a merger or an acquisition or a decision between two leaders here around the 28th, 29th. Sharp drop at the end of the day on the 29th. We're bound by a range on the 30th. Let's see, is that... Looks like it's both. It's like a range-bound day there on the 30th, but another significant trade opportunity there. And then the sneak preview for July is a notable move higher, successfully turning resistance on a multi-day scale into new support. That's MGM for June 2023. Let me know what you think by hitting that like button. Don't forget to subscribe, my friends, if you're interested in guaranteeing MGM gets continued coverage month by month. Make sure to subscribe, comment, like, all of that stuff. Most importantly, make sure to follow the rule of karma, my friends. It's the unwritten rule of the channel, the whole purpose of the channel. You do so here at the resource tab of our website, Tarot for Traders, where we ask that you donate 5% of the profits from the information you make from the information here. Donate it to one of these charities here. 5% of the profits back to the channel at Cashapp, PayPal. And that leaves you with 90% of the profits. Make sure you spend that money out of love. As long as you do that, the universe is going to shower you back with tenfold from all directions, my friends. Blessings. Stay tuned for the paid version. I'll see you guys on the next one.